Economic diplomacy uses economic resources to achieve a specific foreign policy objective. In other words, economic diplomacy is about export promotion and inward investment. In addition, a goal of economic diplomacy is to enhance prosperity, which has been the top priority for states in almost every area of the world. To assist nations in overcoming financial crises, economic diplomacy involves forming global alliance. It involves persuading the leaders of the host government to implement the policies and measures most likely to boost their economies and create jobs for their citizens, even if the reforms have political consequences.
Malaysia and China are two nations that have one of the deepest historical relations in the entire Asia continent, which is presumably the influencing factor to the emergence of great relationship between Malaysia and China that have formed today. China represents a significant export market for Malaysia. Due to China's growing demand over the past few decades, Malaysia to expand its export of manufactured goods to this huge market at an impressive rate. A diplomatic conciliar which was signed in 1971 strengthened the diplomatic ties between Malaysia and China. Following the agreement signing, Malaysia's export to China increased by 50%. From year 2009 until 2013, Malaysia and China's trade growth recorded an increase of 58.4%, with total trade recorded from 128.3 billion ringgit to 203.2 billion ringgit during that period. Nonetheless, starting in 2012, Malaysia experienced a trade deficit with China, and the total of trade deficit also grew from 3.1 billion ringgit in 2012 to 9.3 billion ringgit in 2013. For the period of 2014 to 2017, the Malaysia-China trade deficit also recorded a larger deficit and was clearly biased toward China. The biggest total trade deficit was recorded in 2016 with 43.8 billion ringgit. In the side of economic cooperation, under Najib's administration, Malaysia expected China and Asia to sign a second free trade agreement and hoped that China would continue to be the main trading partner for Malaysia in the long term. However, concerns from various parties regarding the widespread involvement of Chinese firms in several mega projects in Malaysia throughout 2013 till the first quarter of 2018 were raised as it was found out that there were financial discrepancies in the awarding of contracts. In fact, Najib, as the Prime Minister, who was also the Minister of Finance Ministry, was allegedly exposed to administrative wrongdoings and misuse of power in the awarding of contracts to Chinese firms. It was obvious that with the fall of Najib's administration in May 2018, which led to Dr. Mahathir's administration reviewing China's FDI in Malaysia and more damagingly, delayed the mega projects that had not begun yet. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia-China bilateral relations came to a hiatus. However, now, under PM's Anwar administration, warm China-Malaysia relations, thriving economic cooperation in particular, could be witnessed. PM's Anwar showed his intention to promote the trade and investment cooperation with China.
Effect of Malaysia-China bilateral relations. The collaboration that exists between China and Malaysia had a number of positive impacts. First, economic growth. Malaysia has a significant trading relationship with China, and the volume of their trade has steadily increased. Economic expansion, the creation of new jobs, and the transfer of technology are all outcomes of Chinese investment in Malaysia. The Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) and other Chinese infrastructure projects have the potential to improve Malaysia's connectivity and encourage economic growth in Malaysia. Secondly, infrastructural development. The East Coast Rail Link (ECRL) and the Malacca Gateway Port are two examples of modern transportation network that has emerged as a result of Chinese investment in Malaysia's infrastructure project. This project may increase regional trade and improve Malaysia's internal connectivity. Thirdly, transfer of technology. Technology transfer and knowledge sharing have been facilitated by Chinese investment in Malaysia. This may aid in the growth of local industry, boost productivity, and encourage creativity in Malaysia. Additionally, the cooperation between China and Malaysia also brought several negative impacts. First, dependency and debt concerns. Concerns about dependence and debt have emerged as a result of Malaysia's growing economic dependence on China. Pundits contend that over-the-top dependence on China, speculation and credit might prove financial weakness and potential obligation traps. Certain projects' terms and conditions have been the subject of debate, raising questions about sustainability and transparency. Secondly, environmental issues. Concerns about the environment have been raised by some infrastructure projects supported by China, such as the forest development in Johor. This project may cause harm to marine ecosystem, deforestation, and the loss of biodiversity, among other things. Sustainable development and minimizing harm to environment should be the top priorities.
Hi, my name is AZRINA, so I'm going to explain about the solution to conquer the issue. First of all, we can implement trade exchange rate output price model, which mean an exchange rate is a rate which one currency will be exchanged for another currency and affect trade and the movement of money between countries. So, what will happen when we implement exchange rate output model? First of all, real domestic income will be negatively signed as an increase in Malaysia income is expected to increase import of commodity. Secondly, real foreign income is to be positively signed because an increase in Chinese income implies more demand for Malaysia export. However, if a rise in Malaysia income is due to an increase in the production of substitute goods, the estimated of the product could be positive. In addition, we assume that changes of producer prices are reflected in import and export prices. A rise in the domestic producer price will hamper export competitiveness. This is because an increase in the foreign producer price will cause import to be more expensive and reduce the demand for imports. The second solution is productivity growth in real and tradable sector. Malaysia need to upgrade its export structure and reduce low-end and labor-intensive manufacturing. Malaysia focus should be on a high-level value production, design and also service sector before China overtake it in this area. Since both nations are now promoting the respective service sector, further bilateral liberalization and strategic collaboration in service trading should be an important focus of Malaysia-China trade. There are three main drivers of productivity growth, which is innovation and experimentation of new knowledge and technologies. Secondly, contribution to the diffusion of existing knowledge. And thirdly, technologies and efficient allocation of resources. If we implement three of these drivers, we can see the result. For example, labor productivity per hour worked in agriculture sector rise estimated 0.4% in 2019. Because it was improved as compared to the previous quarter in 2018.
In conclusion, we know that the diplomatic economy has a lot of positive effects on Malaysia. The former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib, has fostered bilateral relations and was able to improve the country's economy. For example, the export of palm oil is increasing and China is the main importer. To some extent, can increase the real GDP in both countries. It also has an impact on Malaysia's international trade. Thus, the country's leaders need to play a big role in helping to improve the country's economy.